I love supporting artists. That's what I do. That's why I have this. This show is 6 years old. Like I've been doing it for 6 years. We're 300 episodes, and I support artists, and you should too. And I love bringing artists to you. That's why it's called Extra Connections. So I'm going to connect you with someone who I think you should be checking out. And yes, I think you should be checking this person out. And this person's all about positivity. I mean, he looks like he's 12 years old, but he has decades of black don't crack. He has decades in the business, so he's a smart guy. Great, went to college, everything. He's from the other side of the coast. I'm here in LA. He's over in Kentucky, and I've been to Kentucky a couple of times. We'll talk about that. And he has a great sponsorship deal. We're gonna talk about a little bit too, and it's about what it is he's doing out there to promote positivity through music, speaking, authorship, everything, mentorship. Help me welcome Timothy, I believe, Lamont Sr. How you doing?
Thank you. Thank you. It's a pleasure, Mr. James. It's a pleasure. I'm doing good.
Good.
Every day is a blessing.
When you wake up with your eyes open, it is, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
It is. I have to ask you a question. Okay, so I ask this all the time with anybody who has a senior or junior or third or fourth after their name. So I'm James Lott Jr. My father is senior. You are a senior, so I'm assuming you have a junior, obviously.
I sure do.
You
Yes,
do.
sir.
So I get to ask the reverse question because usually us juniors, I ask, what's it feel like to be a junior? So for you, like I had daughters, I didn't have sons. So I want to know what is it like to be a senior and have a son has your name and all that.
Man, it is so extraordinary. Um, Being my son's father, watching him grow, watching him take everything that I teach him and turn it into just watching him transition in life is pretty special and phenomenal. Being a man that my father, he committed suicide when I was a 15-year-old boy. So I've basically turned this tragedy into triumph, and just that connection with my son and calling him my junior and him just expressing exactly who he is. And it's really a blessing, man. It's a blessing to be his father.
I'm sorry to hear about your father. Um, and I'll ask this question because I know for me, I've said this, when I've been interviewed, I've said this. I had a bad father and the whole thing. I said I became the father I didn't have. So I kind of broke the cycle. So for my
Yes,
girl,
sir.
they can say, no, James was, well, let's say daddy, but I would say James was there and was present and everything. So would you say that your dad's death had a profound effect on you and fatherhood?
It sure did. It sure did. I said the whole time throughout my process with my father that I was going to be everything that he wasn't. And when he left me, that put a huge hole in my heart. So now transitioning through life and growing up and showing my boy how to maneuver in life, that's just means everything to me. So that's something that'll always be as present and educate my son.
How have you navigated? How do I say this? The last, especially 5, 6, 7 years, 8 years. How have you navigated talking to your son, who's a black man or a black? I mean, how old is your son?
He's 9.
So okay. So last couple of years, then we'll say last couple of years. I'm sure he's old enough to see and maybe hear things. Have you done anything to talk to him about kind of what that could mean for him?
I do. I do. Here and there, I try to express exactly who he is, what his skin color is, and he's a little lighter, way lighter than I am. So
We come in all
so
we all come in all colors. We do.
absolutely. So kids make fun of him sometimes that they don't really understand what color he is. They assume that he's a Caucasian kid, which he isn't. So and his hair is a sandy brown and it's rough, but he, he knows how to avoid conversations before they even have like happen. So in a respectful manner too. So he sees the questions before they come. So yes, that's what I teach him to see ahead of time. So we play chess, and you got to have a strong character, and you can't let anybody steal your composure. So that's what I teach my son.
Yeah, my younger daughter. now I'm a grandfather of five now. So I got my grandsons now. So I got the boys. But she also light skinned and who I always say guess my race looking. Let's call it guess my race. What are you? So when she was a kid, I mean, at 5 years old, she came home and she was like, to ask me, what am I? And
Hmm.
at 5 years, I'm like, these kids already asking at 5 years old. I'm like, this is crazy.
Hmm.
So we had to sit down and talk to her. Mother, I had to sit down and talk to her. Like, you're black. See, my grandmother from Louisiana looked like an old Russian woman. You know how Creole folks are. They're all light skinned and green eyes, whatever. But she was like, I'm black. You're black. You're black. You're black. We used to laugh all the time. But she was serious. She's like, I don't care what
Yes.
mixture you have in you. She was like, you black. Which is something that kind of helped me a bit. We kind of look at that because we do come in all shades or whatever. And some folks, when you are light skinned, people think they can say things to you that they wouldn't say to us, right?
Exactly.
So my daughter, same thing. We had to sit down and talk to her. So I mean, it's kind of weird. It's like okay, first of all, you're a human, like that kind of talk. So your
Hmm.
son, so I understand. Just basically say I understand what you're going through.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Crazy. So you knew when you had a
Absolutely.
son. You knew you had a son. You were going to name him Junior. That was one of your things.
That was it. It
Yeah.
was it. That's been planning that for a long time. So yeah, I knew.
You have any,
I
you,
knew.
you have any other kids?
No, he's the only one.
Okay. All right. Okay.
He is the only one. Yes, sir.
Very good.
Yes, sir.
What is okay? Off camera, I was telling him, Timothy here, about Louisville, Kentucky, because I met some really fine people. There was a group of people that were from Louisville or Louisville, how you say it over there. I see. Who came to California years ago. The group of them came to like change their lives and stuff, and they were all just funny and wonderful and smart and everything. And I was just wondering. I'm always hearing that Louisville is very kind of cosmopolitan of some sorts of that kind of southern mid Atlantic area. Can you talk about Louisville, Kentucky?
Yes, it is a southern sort of environment. I I live there. I'm not actually from there. I wasn't born and raised there. So it is a southern city. Um, I don't have too much to say about it because I probably only lived there maybe 10 years, but I've never got to actually understand the city. But I know that the way that um, African Americans speak is very country. You can tell though, my accent it isn't really Southern, so um, don't really know what to say about Louisville.
Where are you from originally?
Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
Still Midwest, so still Wisconsin,
Yeah,
Wisconsin,
Wisconsin,
Wisconsin. So
Wisconsin.
so you went from Midwest to kind of the top of the South. I mean, it's kind of the South.
Hmm.
So what you I mean, and Milwaukee has a whole. I know folks from Milwaukee. There's a whole rough side to Milwaukee. People don't realize. I mean, really
Hmm.
deadly rough side. To Milwaukee.
Hmm.
So you were born and raised in Milwaukee. But you
Up
moved.
until I was around 10 years old, born in Milwaukee, left when I was around 10, moved to Louisville, Kentucky, and it was a tough transition because after Louisville, Kentucky, we moved down to Campbellsville, Kentucky, which is a very small town and the heart of Kentucky. Um, I wasn't used to seeing Caucasian people um, until went to Campbellsville, Kentucky. So that transition was a little different for me because I was used to being around African Americans, my own race.
Right.
So when I had moved down in that area, things for me were just a culture shock.
Yeah. But I'm sure there must be. What did you learn that was positive about that experience when you got there? What did you learn about that? Anything positive?
Absolutely. There was just a welcoming environment. Um, if people immediately made it feel like, made me feel like this could be home and this was home, and there was a lot of safety in that environment. So that was the key takeaway that I benefited from.
Very good. Very
Yes,
good.
sir.
And then you decided to go to college.
Yes, sir.
Was
Yes,
that
sir.
always, was that always in the plan, or how did that come to you?
It was because I was an athlete, and but I struggled also. So because I was trying to endure a lot of loss. Um,
Yeah, no, that's right. Yeah.
Absolutely. So I didn't even talk about my mother or my brother yet, but those are a part of the story too. But uh, I did. I played football in college. I went to Campbellsville University, and I did not graduate there. Um, I went to Sullivan after that, and I ended up getting my degree online. I didn't finish out my football career because I lost my mother in that process.
Oh my
So a 22-year-old boy, yeah. So and my
God.
I just recently started thinking about this because when I lost my mom and my dad at a young age,
Yes.
yes. But then I think about my two younger siblings and the pain that they had to endure. I'm like, whoa, that blows me away because they were much younger than me. And when you're thrown out to the world like this, it can really chew you up and spit you out. And that's what has happened to the three of us. But I'm choosing to, turn this into a different story. And I'm gonna go grab my brothers when it's all said and done. So
So why do you think you can? I love that analogy where you can all grow up in the same house. I have brothers and sisters, and you all turn out different. You have the same parents, everything. But I know different ages affect stuff too when things happen at certain ages. But like you all grew up in the same house, but basically kind of. And it's like, oh, everybody's different. Why do you think you are how you are?
there the foundation of love has already been set in my heart. My mom, she was a sweet woman, and then I gotta say something good, positive about my dad too, because he gave me life,
Yeah,
So the foundation of love, and when they decided to give each other, each other's hearts, and that right there is pretty sacred. And when you take each other hand in marriage, so that bond right there, and it's just family is everything, and it's so important. Um, and I'll never leave my brothers out here alone, so we all we have, and that's important for everybody to know that every what you have is that's you can't put a price on that, so yeah, man, I love my family with
yeah.
all my heart.
I like the way you frame that, and it's especially when it comes to the parents because I know as I've been an adult, I learned that my parents were human. When you're a kid, they're your parents. They're not human.
Hmm.
They're your parents. You look at it
Yeah.
a whole different way, right? It's like
Oh,
they're
it's
not human.
totally different way.
They don't have feelings or nothing. But they're parents, you know. But as a parent myself, and now a grandparent, but as an adult, just living life. And I always think about, not about you, but I always think about something, they had it even harder than we did. I mean, I know
Oh
I
yeah.
had a rough, I came of age in the 80s, into the 90s. They came of age like in the 50s and 60s. I mean,
Oh, that's
I,
a tough time.
right? Ooh.
It's a tough time.
And depending on where you lived, the country.
Exactly. See, my mother was from Mississippi.
Ooh, okay.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
So she grew up in a small town in Mississippi, it was tough.
yeah.
Yeah, so
You
uh,
have to give them grace. You have
gotta
to,
give them grace. Absolutely. You have to. You
yeah,
have to.
yeah. That's the whole
You
thing. So
have
I like
to.
that. I'm glad you.
That's
I did a story on that recently. Somebody asked me, "How'd you forgive?" I go, "Well, I don't just living life. I mean, you've seen life. I mean,
hmm
nobody's perfect. I mean, nobody's perfect.
No, no, not at all. Nobody is.
What is one thing that surprised you about parenthood so far?
The ability to adapt and then watching the boy go from a toddler to this he's almost my size now.
Dang,
And
okay.
then his brain is just it's something about the technology, um there's just so much, like such a difference of the way I grew up and he grew up. He's never had to see the things that I have, never had to adapt to the things that I have. So, and that's a blessing. That is a blessing in disguise. But becoming a parent and watching the process is everything.
Yeah, it's. I'll tell you, being a parent is one of the hardest jobs in your entire life. It is. I'm like, and see, I had girls. I tell you all the time. Those girls worked me. They worked me. Some girls worked me, and they were smart, and they were smart, and they were beautiful, and I mean, I'm just like they have me wrapped on their finger. I just know it. It's just it's, and I was a semi strict. I wasn't super strict, but I mean, I want to make sure they were successful. Make sure. I thought they're girls. They got to really be out there. Just girls of color. They got to really be out there.
Mhm. Mhm.
Just stuff. So, but it's one of the hardest jobs you'll ever do, and it never ends. My girls are almost in their 40s. It never ends. Like, they keep
Yeah.
going and going and going, but I wouldn't change it for the world. I mean, I wouldn't change it for the world. Uh,
Absolutely not.
but it goes by fast, Timothy. It's seriously soak in every moment because it goes by. I mean, seriously, there's nobody like he's 15, and all of a sudden he's 21, and all of a sudden you're talking to some girl that's getting
I
problems, all that kind of stuff. It happens so fast.
I already feel it. I already see it. I'm like, whoa, let's slow this time down. The bone structure in his face looks different today. Oh my God.
Here's something for you. Here's something for you, Timothy. What is one thing you see yourself in him right now at this age right now?
He's so athletic. And
Oh,
then his work ethic, and he can write really good, write stories so good. Mm, man, he is everything a father could have, wished for, asked for.
no.
And then his ability to listen and learn, that is so special. I see so much in him, and I'm so grateful for just having the opportunity to be a father. But and we have the same birthmark on our legs
Wow,
in the
he's yours.
same place.
He's
Yeah,
yours. Yep, he's
can't deny
yours.
that one.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, fair enough.
yeah,
Oh, that's very
yeah,
cool.
man. I
That's
see so much in him that I've seen myself.
okay, very cool.
Absolutely.
So when did you get into music? Like what was I mean, I'm sure you grew up liking music and all that stuff, but when did you start get into music? Like when did you start?
So I remember listening to Tupac when I was very, very young. Brenda Had a Baby. Just so many great hits by Tupac and Biggie. But it was Tupac that he's always been a great storyteller. He's always been a people when people heard his music, when he spoke, people listened.
They did?
He was very intelligent. So it was
Yes.
Tupac that, he inspired me at a very young age. I would say I'm about 9 years old, listening just the way that the man he structured out his music and became so popular in a tough time, in a tough time period. But he really took control of that art, and now music is really it's just inside me, and the sounds of the echoes of rain that I hear when I'm thinking about the dark times, or the sunshine and the the vitamin D that hits me, the waves, the airwaves, just everything has a sound to it, and it has a ring to it, and then you can turn it into poetry. So, and then put a melody behind it. And man, that's why I love music, and telling the story and everything for me has to be a message for someone can take from it, feel it, and maybe it inspire them in some sort of way. So
Are
I love
you
music, man.
you get melodies first or lyrics first?
Right, lyrics first.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. Yes, I don't really need a beat. Come to the point where it's so easy to just structure out the song first, And then once I hear the sound, or we create the sound together in a beautiful environment, then can take those lyrics any way you want to, like say them how you want to, pronunciate them any way you want to. So that's the beautiful thing with just the melody, man, the sound.
Yeah.
You
I,
can
I want to ask you a question because you are a songwriter, you're structuring songs. Um, they're saying nowadays how music's being TikTokerized, that songs are getting the choruses faster, shorter intros. What are your the structure's still changing a bit? What are your thoughts about that?
life's changing, and you got to adapt. But if that's the wave, then you really have to flow with it. But for me personally, I'm always gonna do, I'm always gonna set a trend my way. I don't want to be like the world. Um, I see a lot of people going viral on TikTok with the music, and it's a beautiful thing.
Right,
But I don't know. I can't make music for just to go viral, or
right, right.
just for social media. I can't do it. I can't do it. I have to. It has to feel right. It has to be purposeful. So
I get it. I get it. I did during the pandemic, which was 5 years ago this month. Can you believe that? It's been 5 years. I was on TikTok and I made a song called "Why Is Everything So Difficult." I literally did it just for TikTok. I was like you said, I've never done it before. I was like, I'm just gonna make it up for TikTok. I did. It went viral for a minute.
did
But
it.
yeah, it did. I know it did. I had two
That was
songs.
awesome.
One called "It's Hot" because it
Mhm.
was hot one summer here in LA. It was like insane hot, and I have no air conditioner here. And I was sitting on TikTok, and I had my phone. I was like, I wrote down something. And I always have pads everywhere. I was writing something down, and I was like, I had my drum machine next to me. I was all, "What? It's hot, it's hot, it's hot, it's hot," and I did, and they went viral for a minute. I mean, I saw I don't. They're more for comedy novelty stuff. They went viral.
Yeah, man.
Like,
I
they did it.
mean,
It's kind of
and
funny.
it's,
It was fun. It was
a song with personality is gonna catch a
yeah,
wave fast, man. Especially,
like people are like it is hot. I go, it is hot.
yeah, it is hot. You can relate to that. It's
Thanks
so
for that.
hot.
It's hot. We had a good laugh right about. But I saw the numbers, like, oh my god, did how much did I do? Was that I'm like, wow, I'm like, it was just something I just made. I just kind of, but I know what you mean. I like classic songwriters. I like classic songs. I mean,
Yes.
there's a whole art
Yes.
form. We're laughing about that,
Mhm.
but there's a whole art form to songwriting and why certain songs land a test of time. I mean, why Tupac? I want to talk about Tupac because I think Tupac's interesting. I used to see him. I used to live in the Bay Area. I used to see him all the time running around when he first started. He was with Digital Underground, as folks may not know this at home. He was in that group for a minute, and they got famous
Mhm.
first. He
Mm.
was like one of the sidemen on there, um, but the thing I've learned about him later when I started realizing he was caught between two worlds: thug life, but actually very academic. And I saw these
Mhm.
teachers and people, I mean, folks coming out of the woodwork and people going, oh no, he read Shakespeare. He was very smart. Like, and I started really looking, and I started listening to his lyrics differently. Because you mentioned Brent as a baby. So he had songs like that, or if Heaven Has a Ghetto, I wonder if Heaven Has a Ghetto, or whatever. But then he had the thug songs over here too.
Absolutely.
So I want to ask you, I kind of feel like he was kind of one of our original code switchers when it comes to music, right?
He was. He was. And you never know what anybody's going through, you know. And you don't know anything about their real personal life. Tupac was a person that expressed himself. He wasn't afraid to, and if anybody disrespected him, he would let them know.
Yes.
So he wasn't afraid to use his voice at all. So, and I respect that. I respect a man that is honest about what he feels, what he has to say, however he has to say it. Um, but yeah, he was living two different worlds, had two different personalities, and it sounds like Job almost, the book of
Right.
Job, where
Right.
yeah, where you're going through it, you're going through a whole lot, and sometimes the world can't see what you're actually going through. Like faced three knee surgeries, and I'm
Oh, dang.
this is my third right now, and I'm over here with a cast on my leg.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, and I'm thankful because I'm close to the period where I'll be walking again, and I have a show coming up next month, so and I'll be back. But you never know what anybody's going through, and those times, those dark days, can really turn you into a different person. Now, that's what I said about my son, how remaining composed, because you're gonna go through
You
some
know.
twists, some
You
pulls,
know. You know.
but yeah, a person like Tupac, I have to respect.
Yeah, I agree. I totally agree. And I taught you for. I get to what you do. I get seriously. I love talking to you. This is a great conversation. But I guess I should tell me what else you do. Okay, so you got a great sponsorship with Coca Cola. So
Yes,
tell us about
sir.
that. Tell us about that.
Man, it was, listen, the way things work is you have to be ready, you have to position yourself, and anything can happen at any moment. And that's what happened for me. I got an email from my PR, and he emailed the Coke manager at Coca-Cola studio at LA Live. And then it happened quick because he loved my music, he loved my sound, he loved what I stood for. And then I was in the studio within 4 days because I was already out there. I was out there because I had a show, doing a show for a Disney sponsored Black History event. So absolutely. And it was a big festival too, huge. But because I was out there in position, it all worked out. And I knew somebody that knew somebody else. It all worked out perfect. Um, and next thing you know, I'm signing a publishing deal for Coca-Cola. And that opportunity can be the one that changes everything. Because I saw an individual uh, this past weekend. They played his music video, the same video that I have for myself, his music video and his song at a festival for big artists like uh, his name is Benson Boone. He's a
Oh yeah,
really
but
good
yeah.
artist.
Oh yeah, it's a big artist. Yes,
Really, really, really good artist.
he's big right now too.
AJR, that band,
Yes,
tough.
yes.
Some incredible acts. I like Benson Boone a whole lot, and I think if he stays on his path, he's gonna be a legend.
Yeah,
He's,
he's
he
already
could
did that. He's a huge hit.
huge hit, huge hit. But man, everything just happened the way God just divined it. So,
Of course he
and I'm
did.
I'm
I
I'm I'm,
always say that.
I'm thankful for that. So
Funny.
just let's see where God takes it. And he's about to do a letter of recommendation for me too, because I have other things planned and in place. Man, it's you can be all uphill from here.
I love it.
Yeah.
No, I know that's why I want people to know that you stay on course. And I said I believe in God too. So, but I think it's all divine intervention for me. But you stay on course and love what you do. You have ups and downs. That just kind of happens. That's life. Things happen. Good stuff will come to you. It'll come to you if you're serious about it. You're sincere about it. I always say it's when you least expect it a lot of times. But I always say if you stay ready, you don't gotta get ready, right?
That's right. That's exactly,
Right?
exactly how it works.
Exactly.
Exactly. Preparation, staying focused, proper preparation prevents poor performance. You step up and you ready.
I got
You
one more for you
ready.
too. I got another one for you. Luck favors the prepared. That's right.
Hey,
No,
yes,
I
I
know the
like
sayings
that.
too. I know the saying.
Yes,
That's
yes,
right. But
sir.
luck favors the prepared. There's no such thing as luck. That's the whole point. It's like you just the whole point we're all trying to say is just keep doing what you're doing and know your stuff. Um, then you'll be fine. I almost understand, but you'll
Yes,
be fine.
sir.
You'll be fine. I mean, seriously, you'll be fine because when someone says there's an opportunity over here, you're like, I got that. I'm always like,
Hmm.
yes, I can do that. Got it.
Hmm.
Right?
Yes, sir.
That's how I
Yes,
love that.
sir.
Just,
Yes,
uh,
sir.
describe your music, folks. They don't know if they don't know what it is. Describe what your music or music or at least recently how your music's been these days.
It's the sound of hope.
I like that. I'm in.
That's the
I'm in.
sound.
I'm in. Yeah, you sold me.
Yes,
I'm in.
sir.
Yeah,
It's the sound of hope.
I like that.
Yes, sir.
What are you writing these days about? What's coming out for? What's coming up for you?
So I'm working on songs about love,
Okay.
marriage. Yes,
Are you in love
I'm
and married and all that? Are you in love?
I'm currently not, but I'm praying for
Got it.
that that to be positioned into my world. So most of the times when I'm thinking about it, focused on it, it happens that way. So yeah, it's time for some love. It's time for some love songs.
You hear that, ladies?
Yeah,
I'm here.
that's
Send
right.
your applications to me. I'll look them over for. I'll vet them for you first. Like, I don't know. Anyway, I don't know what you good for him. No, it's I think that's very cool because since you're gonna put out love, love will come back to you.
Yes, indeed.
I think that can be
Yes, indeed.
put out hope,
Yes,
come back to you. It's like it's.
yes, indeed.
I think you probably agree with me. It's like what you put out does come back, and it's like and it may come back tomorrow or next week, but it comes back eventually. And it's like it's the law of physics, it's the law of God, it's the law of everything. It's like it's what you put out,
Comes
you make
back.
it back.
Yes, indeed.
Like
Yes, indeed. I
simple as
love
that.
them affirmations.
Um, what have you? Because you've been in business for several decades. Like I said, you look like you're so young looking. Um, but you've been in business for a while. What is something you would tell somebody who's getting into business now? Because obviously it's changed since then too. Well, what are some of the things you would say to people? They say, "Oh, be a songwriter or a singer or whatever, a rapper or whatever." What is something you would say to them if they ask you?
Be serious about it and don't give up because adversity is going to come. There will be some really tough times. Be serious, focus, stay away from what can get you off course. That's the key to making, you know, a lot happen for yourself is you really have to leave the past behind, what you were behind, drop all the bad and negatives that you are. Look yourself in the mirror, hold yourself accountable, and really think about where you want to go. Make goals for yourself, and it can happen. Word for word, it can happen.
I agree.
So
That's right. I agree with that. That's all the time. You got to believe in yourself more than by anybody else. That's
by any means, that's
it.
it.
Exactly. You have to. Well,
That's
you have to.
it.
There are folks who say
It's
they believe in you, and they kind of do, they kind of do, they drop you. You have to constantly believe in you.
without a doubt, man.
Yeah,
Without a doubt. Yeah, if you got that confidence in yourself, then it's you it's really gonna come back to you. Like it's that simple. And it's in my name, I believe. So you have to believe in yourself. And
I agree.
everybody else will.
I know. I know. Yeah, people will follow suit. Yeah, right. It's that whole thing. Just that whole thing. When my grandma always tell me, dress for the job you want, or already act like you're a CEO. On some
Yes.
level, right? And so then,
Yes.
when you come into it, I said, well, I've been a star for years. You didn't know who I was. I've
Exactly.
been a star the whole time. I'm just waiting for you to
Exactly.
announce
I
it,
was just waiting
right?
for you all. Yep. Yeah.
Exactly. I've been doing this for a
Yeah.
while. I know I'm the bomb, so I'm guys to figure it out. We're
Yeah,
sort of,
man.
but that's
Yeah, man.
and I mean that with humility, obviously, and some fun. We're being fun about it, but I like it.
Absolutely.
But be serious. No, yeah, no, seriously,
And be
business
serious.
is not for the faint of heart. It's not.
Mm-mm.
It's not. It's not at all.
No,
And for
no.
you, what keeps you in the business?
My why, my son, I want to show him that what's possible. God has a plan. I want to show him that, what was is behind me. I'm not that person. I'm not the pain that try to kill me. I'm not the bottle of liquor that try to drown me. I am everything that God is. I'm a fruitful I'm a seed of, you know, God's fruit, and I'm God's disciple, and I'm showing other kids too, and other people that anything is, that's the key word, anything, the key phrase, anything is possible.
And that's where we're going to leave it right here. That's a good ending because I believe too. I believe and I believe and I believe you. I believe you. Your name, I
Hey,
believe it. I believe it. You
thank
are
you,
welcome
man.
back on the show anytime in the future. Anything you want to promote or talk about. Like I said, we got a great con. I can talk to you about all kind of stuff. Anytime you want to, you are welcome. You're now a friend to the show. So thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. James. It's been a pleasure, brother.
Okay, so this is your chance. I will underneath the video and the audio put all the information to find them, but this is your chance to tell people yourself out of your own words where can they find you? They want to find you.
My YouTube, everything, my website at ibelieve.com, YouTube at I believe, social media at I believe, and you spell it IBELI3VE. Again, that's IBELI3VE, I believe. And I appreciate it.
Yes, and we'll put it underneath. And my last words are, as I always do on the show and other shows, support art, support artists, support indie artists, whether it's music, dancing, videos, movies, TV. Indie is in right now, kids. There's a lot of great artists out there putting out some great stuff. Also support art in schools. JLJB is a huge supporter of arts in schools. They are cutting programs. They're cutting programs. We got to fight for that. It has been proven that art actually helps in other areas of life, like English and history and math and science. Art is good. It's just as good as anything else that we have in our society. So support the artist. You can follow me at alotofhelp.com, and the Extra Connections is on Facebook. I'm James Lott Jr. everywhere. You can find me everywhere, seriously. I'll see you next time.